I finally reached the point where I simply can't draw fan arts without mashing up my favorite fandoms. So today we're drawing Hatsune Miku as the Winx Club fairy. I'm Jelliemia, let's get started. As we all know, every version of Miku is a canon. She is such a unique character who brings fans from all over the world together through our shared creativity, and honestly, I'm really surprised it took me this long to finally draw her as a Winx fairy. After all, for over 3 years now, my art has been dedicated to Winxifying characters from franchises like Monster High, My Little Pony, and so many others. Strangely enough, the idea of drawing Miko as fairy came to me completely out of the blue. I was preparing for a pop culture festival here in Ukraine, and since large-scale events like this are so rare nowadays, for obvious reason, I wanted to bring my absolute best. Naturally following artist tradition that everyone on the artist alley needs to have Miku merch on their table. But as I already mentioned, I physically cannot just draw a standard fan art. It has to be a crossover. That's how a Chainsaw Man Miku joined my Shrimp Sim Miku design. And then came Choso Miku inspired by Jujutsu Kaisen. Then was a Pony Miku because who doesn't love My Little Pony? And Witch Miku because honestly Witch is such a lost art that deserves more love. But grand final for this series was supposed to be Miku as a Winx fairy, and I really wanted to do something special since Winx is such an important franchise to me. And let's be real, what could possibly be more Winx cores than Enchantix? Let's start by acknowledging one undeniable fact. Miku is a fairy of universe, and don't even think about arguing with me in the comments. Just hear me out. Since every Miku is canonical, it means every single dimension has its own Hatsune Miku. She is quite literally the guardian of magical worlds and an ultimate thread connecting different universes. And as a fairy of the universe, her voice could be her source of power. Just imagine her casting spells through her songs. And honestly, I think just such a whimsical idea, just like it fits so perfect. Indeed, making Miko a music fairy would have been like obvious choice since she is first and foremost a Vocaloid. However, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I rarely take the easy way out. I love reimagining things and stories and characters' traits in new, interesting ways, and I always try to reflect that deeper lore in the character's design. Miko's Enchantix design is heavily inspired by the traditional clothing of her home country. I really wanted to weave these cultural elements into her look to give her a truly distinctive aesthetic. The top part of her dress is inspired by one of my favorite elements of traditional Japanese attire, namely the obi sash used to cinch a kimono. And of course, I simplified it quite a bit so that while it honors the traditional reference, it still perfectly fits the canonical look of an Enchantix transformation. But Miko's hairstyle actually took me some time to figure out. I wanted to preserve her iconic, instantly recognizable look while still doing something unique with it. After all, we'll know that in Season 3 of Winx Club, the Enchantix transformation completely levels up the main character's appearances, making their hair longer and changing its colors or adding vibrant, colored stands. And for her signature Enchantix hair accessories, I choose hair pins resembling traditional Japanese ribbon decoration called kanzashi. And to lie the whole look together, you will see these exact same elements used for her shoes as well, or whatever it's called in Enchantix transformation. And while you're watching me struggling with choosing correct colors for Miko's design, I really want to mention my Etsy shop because all of the crossover design I've talked about at the beginning of the video are available in my shop right now as holographic stickers. I've left the link for you right down in the video description. Overall, my Etsy shop you can find tons of cool fun merch based on your and my favorite fandoms from stickers to button pins to keychains to postcards And I'm honestly so proud how they turned out, and I really appreciate your support. But even if you can't check out at the shop, I'll be incredibly grateful if you could just hit that like button on this video, share your thoughts in the comments, or share this video with your friends on social media, because it's helped YouTube algorithm to find more amazing people like you, boost the channel, and really motivates me to keep creating more of these redesigned videos. And with that all I said, let's keep going and jump into the lore. And since we chose the magic of the universe for Miku as the guardian of magical worlds, Enchanting should be her absolute peak of magic powers, like definitive core transformation, much like Bloomix was for Bloom. In this form, her voice serves as little conduit between the dimensions, weaving the connecting worlds together. It mirrors how Miku herself unites thousands of creators around the globe, and honestly, I always was amazed by how, at least once a year, the entire internet collectively drops everything to create themed Miku design, whenever it's Miku crossovers or Miku from different countries. It beautifully echoes the early days of the internet when fans communities felt like cozy, welcoming, and unified spaces for shared passion. Lately, though, I've been feeling a bit detached from fandoms as pop culture has gone completely global and massive audiences have flooded in, a shift that aggressively accelerated during the pandemic. When everyone was isolated online, the whole landscape changed, and on one hand, this mainstream explosion is great because it's normalized our hobbies and removed the old outsider stigma in the eyes of society, but on the other hand, when a cozy community turns into massive hyper-commercialized industry, that intimate magical charm of the early internet gets lost in that noise, and it goes from tight-knit circle of friends sharing art to a chaotic, fast-paced algorithm, and it's hard not to meet that original spark. Anyway, let me get back to Miko's design and talk about the most beautiful and absolutely favorite part of any fairy's look, the wings. In my opinion, the wings are exactly what made Enchantix a defining feature in modern pop culture. The dramatic shift from a small, simple wings of the first transformation was replaced by stunning, fluttering, highly detailed wings resembling a butterfly, making the entire look incredibly magical and memorable. Enchantix truly represented the pinnacle of fashion, and Winx Club capturing the ultimate essence of what fairy should look like. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind design style that's impossible to confuse with anything else. Just like with the original girls, I based my design for Miko on the shape of butterfly wings. However, I personally prefer wings that are even more detailed, so I added a distinct graphic element right in the center, where actually a little heart hidden away in that line work, which you know about now, even though it won't be fully visible in the final illustration. As the colors, I prefer to choose a Winx palette that contrasts with the main colors of the outfit itself. This helps set the dress off and creates a beautiful layered effect, allowing the outfit and the hair and the wings to complement each other perfectly to form cohesive, seamless look. I really hope you love this version of Hatsune Miku. Let me know, would you like to see other Vocaloids transform into Winx Fairies? Or maybe I should finally give that Monster High Miku redesign another shot. Either way, I'm so excited to read your suggestions in the comment. I'm going to take a quick little breeze now while I dive into the next phase of my Winx Club rewrite and redesign project, and I'm definitely going to try and bring you guys more videos in the near future, and I appreciate your support more than words can say. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in the next video, my favorites.